artificial intelligence doesn't know everything. It's trained on what it's learned.
There are elements of AI that I think can be genuinely useful in a world that is so unbalanced and unfair.
AI is built on the biases we already have in the world. Hello and welcome back to the How to Fitness podcast. I'm Kate Lyman.
And I'm Michael Ujoa.
And we're back.
Hello.
It's been a minute since we've recorded. How are you today, Michael?
I'm doing well, Kate.
We just physically dusted off our microphones, both.
Yep.
To be fair, I think it's only been like maybe a month.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 weeks since we've
feels like a
recorded.
while.
But it feels like a long time.
I just blew the dust off the top of my microphone as we were about to hit the record button. So that speaks volumes, Kate.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. We had, obviously, we now have 2 kids in daycare, so we've been hit with the bugs hard the last month. Last week wasn't good. We had a few hospital visits with Jude. Everything's fine now. But it was rough. Like, work's busy. I've finished collecting all the data for my master's research project, and like everything came together at one time, and then sick kids. So this week is playing catch up, and I am stressed, but it's fine. We're in good spirits over
But
here.
you're like functioning this week. Last week you like weren't even functioning.
I was not functioning. Yeah. I got through a lot of coffee last week. I think that's the only way I survived that week. But I'm feeling good. Luckily, my skincare routine, which I've never spoken about before, Kate, is making me look like a functioning human still.
Yeah, look at that glow.
There we go.
Also, Michael, it's your birthday next week.
It is.
Tuesday or Thursday?
Thursday next week. Yeah.
And mine was this week. We have like of all the things, we've got a lot of the same going on.
We do.
Right?
Yeah. Do you know what I'm going to do for my birthday?
Are 10 days apart.
I've got a very exciting plan. So my wife has just gone back to work after maternity leave. She's got like headfirst straight into like a big project that they're launching. So she is working throughout. Both the kids will be in daycare. I think I'm going to go like sit in a dark cinema on my own and just sit still for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and just
that sounds
soak up the quiet. Yeah.
Really great.
Yeah, right? Part of me was like, is that a bit sad? I'm like, no, I'm so excited
No.
for this. Yeah.
Is the Odyssey out before or after your birthday?
Do you know what? I don't actually know. I was thinking of watching Toy Story because I wanted to switch my brain off completely. Yeah, there we go.
That's also great.
Yeah.
And Bad Bunny's in this Toy Story.
Do you know what? Sold. Yeah. Exactly.
I had my birthday party last night, and it was like one of the most fun nights
I love
ever.
this.
It was a Last Supper themed party.
I saw the theme on Instagram and it looked
I had
so much
a
fun.
magnificent crown. We had little crowns for all. When my friend made all the crowns, little crowns for everyone. Everyone had an apostle, and they had
Love
like
it.
a little task inside that they had to do for the night, and it was so fun.
What kind of
and
tasks?
The food was, they were like ranging in what I felt like my friends would participate in. Like some of it were like, okay, you have to dare someone to do something by the end of the night. Someone had to lead the toast. Someone had to cut the cake. Someone had to keep all the candles lit at all times. Someone had to keep all the wine glasses full at all times.
Brilliant.
It was all non-alcoholic wine, which was my first foray into actually trying a non-alcoholic
They're good.
drink. Yeah, I didn't like it, but I
Okay,
liked
fair.
the optics.
Okay. I just found, maybe I've just had ones that taste like yummy drinks, but most of them just tasted like a squash, like a diluted
No,
juice
some
or
of my
something.
friends were like, "No, this tastes like wine," and I
Oh,
was
okay.
like, "That's probably why I don't like it, because I think the taste of alcohol is bad."
Okay. Fair.
But anyway, it was fun. I love a theme. I love a themed party. So
I'm glad you had a great time.
I'm still like
Kate.
beaming from it, but I'm also a little tired because I went to bed later than normal, and it's early.
And that takes a good like week to recover when we do that now, Kate. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shall we do it?
I think we should. So as the title of this episode suggests, we're talking about AI today, which I feel like I've put off talking about this for a little while, actually. But I think I was thinking about this last night. I was like, why have I put this off? And I think it's just because the landscape is changing so quick that I'm worried that we'll talk about something and then it'll be out of date in about a month's time.
In 2 weeks?
yeah, literally in like 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I still think it's important to talk about because I know that this episode is being released very quickly after we record, which doesn't usually happen. So I feel a bit more comfortable with it now. I think there'll be like a good few takeaways for people, a good like emphasis on what people need to look out for that they might not be aware about, and then just a little bit of discussion, Kate, about how we feel about AI and its general use, especially within coaching. So I think it's going to be a fun episode.
I'm excited. I have opinions, so let's do
Okay,
it.
I like it. I like Kate's opinions. They're always fun to dissect. So yeah, we'll have like a few sections later on where we will just have little discussions about certain topics because I am intrigued to see how you feel about them all, Kate. But yeah. So as I mentioned, today we're talking about something that sounds like a bit dystopian, but also very much like it's happening now. And I mostly want to touch on like AI wellness influences right now because I think that's the thing that's possibly the biggest fear or my biggest worry around the wellness space at the moment. And what we're talking about today is the fact that it's now easier than ever to create the appearance of being a credible fitness expert online, especially without necessarily having the knowledge, the experience, or in some cases, even the actual like body or identity behind it. We did do an episode on AI ages ago. I was trying to think how long ago that was,
It was
Kate.
season 1.
Was it
But
season
that was
one?
a different take. That was like how artificial intelligence is used in our tracking tools and blah, 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 right?
Sure. And I think that just shows, what was that, like 2 years ago? How much
That was
is
that
it more?
was definitely 3.
Was it 3? Oh, wow.
That was 2023. Yeah.
Jeez. And it just shows like the landscape has now completely changed since then. And I feel like it's snowballing faster and faster. So I do think that we need a little bit of an update on this episode.
Yeah, well, to put that in perspective, Michael, I remember that was season 1, and we were like, wow, there's this thing called ChatGPT. It can help us choose our episode titles. And we were like, this is our episode. What should our titles be? And then like,
Yeah.
that's where we were at.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, the landscape has really changed because now it can do a lot more than just title creation. It can help create like polished fitness content, meal plans, training plans, supplement advice, like fake progress photos, fake educational posts, which are very common. And then in some cases, fake people entirely. And the reason I think this matters is because the fitness industry was already pretty vulnerable to nonsense, like before any of this turned up. It was already an industry where people often confused like the way someone's body looks, whether they had abs for expertise. I mean, that's still the case now, but I feel like it's now getting worse and worse. Worse and worse. So where looking the part can count for more than actually knowing what you're talking about, it's pretty scary. And confidence often gets mistaken for credibility. I've spoken about this a lot on social media, and a lot of people are already sold very quick fixes like miracle supplements and personalized plans that a lot of the time are just not very personalized. I think that's maybe getting better and will be better in the future, but I think at the moment there's a lot of people hiding behind AI and how it's used, and I just I don't like it. I don't like the way we are heading, Kate. I don't know what you think about that.
No, I agree with what you're saying, and I think sometimes I don't know if distrust is the right word, but I guess a distrust of how artificial intelligence is seeping into the everyday, especially in the fitness industry, comes off as like, ooh, you're scared, like you're threatened. Like I have gotten that messaging before of like, if you're talking about it, it's because you're threatened, and I would really push back on that, like, no. We're talking about it because it's relevant, and it's relevant to our audience here who consumes information. It's relevant to our clients who consume information. It's relevant to us, to every person navigating like a world where you get on social media and what you are seeing might not be from an actual person.
Yeah.
So I think it's less about like threat and more
Sure.
about just helping us navigate this weird changing world a bit more.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I didn't want this episode just to be about whether AI can like write you a workout plan, because it absolutely can. Like that's very basic and quite straightforward now. But it's about what happens when anyone can manufacture the appearance of being an authority figure within the wellness space. And that's the scary bit. Like what happens when the person telling you what supplements to take, how to fix your hormones, why you're not losing body fat or whatever, like might not even exist in the first place. And I never want these episodes to feel like too alarmist or like the world is ending, because I mean it might be, but hopefully it's not. But I genuinely think this is going to become like a bigger and bigger issue as time goes on within the health and fitness space, mostly because it slots quite neatly into an industry that's already like rewarding aesthetics and full of absolute nonsense. And also on this, in terms of using AI within wellness, I think the main issue I have is that most people aren't turning to social media for like health advice for a fun little hobby, like they're often coming in feeling really confused, very vulnerable, and desperate for answers, whether it's like desperate to change the way their body looks or desperate to feel better or to find the answers for something that maybe mainstream healthcare hasn't been able to help them with. And it makes people very vulnerable and easy to sell to. And that's the bit that I thought, okay, we should probably do an update on AI and try and stop people for falling for a lot of this nonsense if we can. Yeah.
I think hands down that's the most important point, the vulnerability and the like borderline desperation with which people are consuming this information and how much more predatory it becomes. And that's true for AI wellness influencers and real human ones as well.
Sure. And I didn't want this episode as well to be us sitting here being like, AI is evil and I don't think anyone should ever use it. That certainly is a discussion that could be had. But I don't entirely think that's true. I think there is and will be good examples of AI being put to good use. It can be a really helpful tool, but the difference between using AI as a tool and then using it as like creating an illusion of expertise and trust in order to sell people very dodgy stuff, I think that's the worrying part for me.
Agree.
Okay, so I just for anyone worrying how widespread this is, I just want to quickly read this quote from someone who runs an ad agency that I think I don't like this person. I know nothing about them, but I don't like them. They run AI influencer brands for big companies, and they are creating fake people and giving out information for these brands at scale. I'm just going to read a quote from them in an interview that they gave, and they said, "I'm going to say that about 40 to 60% of the content out there from some of the big brands is actually being made through AI, but a lot of the creators are also under NDAs. So if you sign with a brand, they'll make you sign an NDA saying you can't talk about the fact that they're using AI because consumer trust is still being built. I call it plausible deniability." So like this stuff is being used at scale and they're actively trying to cover up the fact that they're using AI in order to like keep brand trust and loyalty going. And that is grim.
Precisely why we have no brand trust right now. Like,
absolutely.
Or just trust anywhere. Literally that's the reason why.
Yeah, it's
one of the reasons, I guess.
Yeah, so that's why I said I don't like that person. So, Kate, do you know who is the most followed AI influencer in the world?
No, Michael, when we were talking about this topic, I was like, I don't even know what an AI, like, it's like an account that's a person.
So an account that is not a person, but it's like pretending to be a person. So it's like a fake human that is being a human online.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Like, no, because I don't know. I don't know that I've seen these, but obviously I have, right?
Oh, they are terrifying. So the most popular AI influencer in the world is Lou Do Magalu. She has over 30 million fans across social media accounts.
What?
Yeah. And do you know what? Like that scares me, first of all, because why is anyone following a fake person? And like you go through the comments and it's people messaging in them as if they're a human, even though they know they're AI. It's so bizarre.
Okay, to bring a parallel, there's like all these like MAGA influencers that like boomers follow.
Yeah.
Because they think they're a real person.
Yeah, like there's definitely going to be elements of some people probably think that it's real, but some of them are like, they're clearly AI. Like they're kind of a bit cartoonish.
Okay.
As well. Like some of the posts they do, like they kind of cartoonify them. But then there are some posts where they look a bit more like a human. But the description of the person is the bit, I say person, the description of the character is the bit that made me laugh and also want to punch myself in the face. So it said, she was created by Brazilian retail giant Magazine Luiza. I don't know if I'm saying that right, and handles product unboxings, software tutorials, and, quote, relatable lifestyle content.
What?
How is it relatable? She is not even real. And yeah.
Lou Do Magalu.
Yeah,
I found her now.
Yeah, so across all platforms, she's got like 30 million fans across all social media.
Oh yeah, she looks like a cartoon.
Yeah.
So this doesn't look like a person.
Yeah, but there's like people messaging it as if it's a real person. That's the bit that kind of creeps me out.
I'm watching this right now.
Weird, huh?
And my jaw is dropping.
And then in terms of kind of fitness, one of the most followed fitness AI influencers is something called Ayatana Lopez. And on Instagram alone, they have nearly 400,000 followers. And surprise, surprise, their account is just like full of brand partnerships, like affiliate links and discount codes. I'm kind of pissed they have more followers than us, Kate. But it's yeah, like there's posts that are just like pure adverts, like selling skincare products and stuff, even though they're not a real person. And then the comments are full of angry people who have like paid for it but not received the product and stuff. I'm like, why are you buying from a fake, clearly a fake thing? But the people are, and it's growing in popularity.
Yeah. I mean, media literacy is more important right now than ever.
Yeah,
So this all
yeah.
checks out. But I'm looking at this account you talked about, and I'm like, this just looks like you're watching ads.
Yeah, yeah, but people seem to want to follow it. I don't understand that at all. But yeah, so this is clearly not some niche little internet persona anymore. Like this is part of the content creator economy, and it's picking up traction. So yeah, something that I just wanted to give a little nod to, but not talk about more in this episode, is the idea of deep fakes as well. Okay, you probably know about this. For anyone who doesn't, they basically like clone a person online and then use their likeness for selling products, all sorts of awful, horrible things. And I follow many accounts that have had this happen to them, especially within the wellness space. I could follow a few doctors. Dr. Amir Khan, for example, is a kind of TV-based doctor here in the UK, and he had his likeness used to sell supplements recently. So I had to do a video calling it out. And this is also picking up traction and becoming more popular, which is scary once again.
This is actually, and who knows how timely this will be, Michael, but just this week, I'm sure you saw this on Instagram. Like there's a new setting that needs to be turned off because Meta AI can now use our likeness. So if you go to your settings, I think it's
Actually, yeah, I have
sharing
this.
and
Yeah,
sharing and reuse. You turn off, allow people to reuse your content on Instagram and with AI features at Meta.
exactly. So anyone who has a public
Yeah.
account on Instagram, you are by default opted in to Meta's generative AI tools called Muse Image, I think it's called. And it means that anyone can use your post or likeness in AI prompts, and you can opt out of this in the settings. Once again, this might change within the next few weeks. So if anyone's listening to this a little bit later, the setting might not be here anymore. It might kind of default back to you being opted in after a certain period of time. But if you tap your profile on the top right hand side, there's 3 lines. Go to settings and activity and scroll down to sharing and reuse. And under the section allow people to use your content. And with AI features, you can toggle it all off.
Oh, look, you already had this written into your
There
script.
we go.
It's very timely.
There we go.
Okay, and while that might change, I have to give a shout out to, we have talked about Laura Bates' books
Yeah.
ad nauseum in this podcast, but her newest book called The New Age of Sexism is about AI. And it is, a lot of it is about deepfakes and what that looks like from a different perspective than what we're talking about, but same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's anything that Laura Bates has written is just fantastic, and I recommend anyone please go and read her books. Yeah, so that's where we're at the moment. So I guess I just wanted to like explain like the different ways as well that AI is being used within the wellness space, because I think when people hear like AI fitness influencer, they maybe picture more of those people we've just spoken about as well that are like fake CGI robot like doing Romania deadlifts in like a neon gym that always looks like a little bit weird. And yes, they certainly do exist. But I think the definition is much broader than that now. An AI influencer could be a completely fake account like that, like fake person, body, fake what I eat in a day post, that kind of thing. But it can also be very real human beings using AI to do most, if not all, of the heavy lifting behind the scenes. And I think that this is way more widespread. So AI written captions, AI generated meal plans, workouts and all that kind of stuff, educational posts, all back end stuff for websites. Like a lot of the discourse you see when they're talking in comments, you can kind of spot when someone's using AI to like give people advice or to respond to people criticizing them. It's where people are basically able to use AI to mass produce the appearance of expertise. And I would argue that that's way more dangerous. A lot of the time, probably because AI can be quite reassuring in your beliefs, even if your beliefs aren't very accurate or right. There's been many discussions around AI and how it will just kind of please you. So if you have someone who is willing to spread nonsense, sell nonsense to people, be it supplements or products, using AI to kind of strengthen your argument to keep selling, I think is a real scary reality right now. And I think there's a lot of coaches doing it.
I think that topic you're touching on is far scarier than anything else, because that's where we can coach ourselves in media literacy. We can strengthen our media literacy skills and kind of work on trust building and stuff. But it feels to me far more predatory. I don't scroll much on social media anymore. And part of it is because when I scroll and I see caption after caption or educational post clearly created with AI that are tells, I want to bash my brain in.
Sure.
I feel like I am getting dumber consuming this information because it's all like you said, quite sycophantic, like very kind of simplified. But also, I lose trust in someone using that to strengthen their argument. I'm not saying don't use an AI, but like one of my biggest beefs with where we're currently at in this artificial intelligence world is like AI being used for hyper productivity. You know, because we have AI, you can now put out 5 newsletters and 5 Instagram posts and 10 carousels and a week because it will just do it all for you. And what people are putting out is slop.
Yeah.
And so we have more volume of things we're reading with less like tangible, credible information. And that just makes me want to like throw my phone off a building.
I completely agree. I think it's part of why I've like really lost, like I really enjoy social media on the whole, like I always have for years. Like I enjoy creating content. I enjoy the discussions that come around that content. But over the last like 6 to 12 months, I've felt less interested and less enjoyment being on social media than I've ever felt. And I think that that is the reason why, is everyone is using AI to create their posts and they're all sounding the same. Like you feel like you're just scrolling a lot of nothing now. There's a lot of kind of big accounts, especially within the like wellness grifter space, who are talking to like fix your cortisol and talking about raw milk and eating raw meat and stuff. And they're all saying the exact same thing. Like they're all clearly using AI to write their scripts or to write their posts. And it's just like you're reading the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it's painful.
Yeah, I mean, I think something, and maybe you're going to touch on this, I don't want to take this from you, but something that we don't always understand as consumers is that AI, artificial intelligence, doesn't know everything. It's trained on what it's learned, but it is an LLM, a large language model, is text predictive software, essentially. It is going to predict and tell you the text that you essentially want to hear. And it is really good at saying, this is what you want to hear. This is what I'm going to tell you. So it affirms biases. It gives us false information to meet the needs of what we want to hear. It's not a search engine that's verifying what is true. And that's where I think it gets really scary to be like.
You'd like to think that that will improve. Like the use of AI is only increasing. Like I don't think there's much that we can do to slow that, especially with all smartphones now are soon going to have AI built into like every feature. What that's going to do to the planet, who knows? But you hope that gets better over time. But yeah, it is. It's just kind of creating this weird echo chamber with yourself. It's very bizarre, where it will just emphasize the message that you want to get across and show you the best way to do that. Especially within wellness, it's terrifying how many people can now just, because there are no regulations around who can create content on social media, especially within like the US, UK, for example, it's just terrifying how many people are now using this to sell to people that are vulnerable and desperate for answers. I hate it here, Kate.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So I guess the key point here is like, you don't need to be a literal robot to be an AI fitness influencer, wellness influencer. If AI is used to create the advice and the authority, therefore also the trust that comes along with that, in a way that makes someone look more knowledgeable, I would argue that counts just as much as this kind of cartoonish character that's not real at all. I don't know. I'm still kind of like piecing my thoughts together with how AI fits into the wellness space and how much we should or can be using it. Like I know that there's some people who are like, no AI, don't use AI at all. I don't know whether I sit in that camp, but I'm always optimistic there'll be more regulations coming in, but I'm also not optimistic.
I love your rose-colored glasses, Michael. For my team, we have like a really strong AI policy. It's like on my website, and it's that AI does not touch anything we do with our clients. And that's for me because to me, coaching is about connection. Like I get a lot of people who I'm talking to, and they're like, well, I've been using ChatGPT as my coach. But when we recognize like ChatGPT is also reinforcing everything you're doing, as like, good job. And honestly, you're doing a great job, right?
Yeah.
There is not that same level of connection, or it's an artificial level of connection And so for me, my policy is that AI does not touch a coach-client relationship. We don't use AI summaries to talk what do people are doing. Like there's just none of it whatsoever. And recently the software I use, I've been using it for 10 years now or so, like very loyal to the coaching software I use. And the lead software developer reached out to me, hey, Kate, I've been thinking about these AI summaries and this. And I was like, I have to be able to opt out. Like, I just don't want,
Sure.
I don't even want it to touch that client coach relationship. But I use AI in like the back end of my systems and management. And I have an AI agent that kind of helps me not run my daily tasks, but give me updates on what I need to be doing for the day. I just don't use it in a generative text mode because I don't like it and I like my own writing. And you know what? I'm constantly wrestling, Michael, you know, I feel this way about so many things, with trying not to be just a hater, but to be a constructive, critical thinker. But it's really hard for me when it comes to AI. I trend towards like, how is this not just something to despise?
Yeah. I would be delighted if it just vanished completely. Like, I just think that we should. I'm the same. So I use my PT Hub at the moment, software that I've used this for like 8-9 years for coaching my clients. And they recently, 6 to 12 months ago, emailed like, we have all this new AI stuff built in for summaries and altering workouts. And I'm like, no, like, decline. Like, I don't want any of that coming into my coaching setup. I just don't think it's helpful. I think coaches that rely on that will die out very, very quickly.
I do agree with that.
A lot of coaches are worried about AI coming in. I'm actually not. I think that people will reach out for human, meaningful contact, connection more because AI is increasing. And when a coach is loyal to their beliefs of coaching correctly, I think that actually we're just going to stand out and we'll be fine, if not busier than ever, because of the rise of this stuff. And it was really sad when they sent me that email saying that the AI was built into everything, because I do not want it at all. Like, I feel like everything now has AI. It's like, oh, are you about to use your brain? Don't worry, AI can help you with that. Like, I don't want email summaries of AI. I don't want note-keeping summaries of AI. Like, just leave me alone.
I woke up and I was looking at the group chat from my birthday party last night, and WhatsApp was like, do you want an AI summary of this?
No.
And I was like, do I want an AI summary of my friends saying they had a good night?
How soulless is that?
Don't.
Meta summary.
Don't
Your
test
friends
me like
had a
this.
nice time at your birthday. Thank you
Yes.
for killing trees to tell me that. I really appreciate it. Jeez.
You know what, Michael? This is, maybe I'm getting too like off topic, but something that I feel like is really interesting that I've noticed in like my coaching practice. Like, I run a business. There's 9 of us, so we have a lot of clients across all of us. Is like, I think because there's an increase in distrust around anything because of AI. We have a lot of our clients not wanting written communication anymore, which really pains me because I don't know if it's like, well, you're writing that, but AI could have written it, but we don't use AI, so it's never AI. Or it's like, I don't have the attention span to read this, or there's not somebody telling me. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But that has been really hard on me because I do a lot of video communication with my clients too, and we do voice messages as well. But I, as a coach, am a strong writer in my communication because
You've
I'll
always
read
loved
a client's
writing as well.
check-in. I love writing, but I'll read a client's check-in and I'll like write out my notes, and then I'll go find some resources or ideas or et cetera. And I'll like make it out until like you get your own little like newsletter of all these different things. I don't know if newsletter's the word, but like, I'm like, AI, don't take this from me. Like, that is my strong communication point. And that's been a little hard, but like also times change and you got to change with them. So
yeah, it's sad. I really enjoy writing. I think I moved away from it just because of the way social media is now. Like, you want your message to reach as many people as possible, and it feels like people don't want to read long form content as much anymore. It's maybe pivoting
I wrote a
little
long caption yesterday, and I was like, "There's 0% chance anyone read this. It is really good, so I'm upset."
Yeah, it's really sad. Like, I appreciate, like, I like short, snappy videos. I enjoy creating their content, but it's just like you haven't got that like meat and bones to it, you know. So it's a little bit more soulless. I use that word a lot, but that's kind of how I feel about AI in general.
I think that's a good word.
Yeah. And I just also wanted to highlight like how easy it is for these people to create these accounts, like bringing it back to like the fake personas, for example. It's terrifyingly easy. So I did like a little bit of like how I want to create an AI influencer yesterday to be like, oh, this is probably like cost me a lot of money and it's really complicated. A guy showed me how to do it in a TikTok video in like 45 seconds, I think the video was. So he's basically his page on TikTok was teaching people how to create influencers to sell stuff. Like that's this guy's job. I don't like you, sir. And the first step though was a bit that really stressed me out. He said, go on to Pinterest, find an image of a person that you like the look of, and then put their image into an AI character creator software that they've got, and then it creates a likeness of that person. So anyone with images online right now is vulnerable to this kind of setup. And that bit really freaked me out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
My surprise is not manufactured over here. I am feeling so
And he like showed the
shocked.
process. There was just like this girl on Instagram, on Pinterest that had posted a picture. I think it was like her with a meal or something, and he like created a whole agent with this person's likeness. And it literally took him. He used like two different pieces of software. He put it on like ChatGPT, then put it into like some Google AI thing, and then into this software. And he had a whole person doing squats, selling supplement lines within like a minute. It was terrifying. Yeah.
That is shocking, and that's where we're lacking major regulations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the most, I don't know, fraud is the right word, but the most like stealing of my intellectual property I've ever had was from Pinterest. And that's like over 10
Really?
years of being very active on Pinterest. The most I've
Okay.
had like, yeah, a lot of issues with Pinterest.
Wow. I wonder why that is.
I think it's just not as heavily monitored over
Yeah,
there.
potentially. Because you don't hear of Pinterest. Like I think it's massively used, like the user base. Like I know I know that you get a lot of traction through Pinterest stuff and a lot of people coming to you through Pinterest. But you never really hear it spoken about as much.
No.
Which is a bit
It's
bizarre.
because it's kind of like a set it and forget it. You like make your stuff and then you run it in the background.
That's fair. Yeah. So I guess you just kind of touched there on like the social media rules bit. And I just wanted to touch on like how these platforms are talking about AI. And I found this BBC section on what the rules are. And I think it's important because platforms say AI generated content should be labeled, but in practice, it doesn't always mean that people clearly label. Like, I don't think the AI stuff I've seen recently, I don't think I've seen any of it saying this is AI. I'm trying to think.
I don't think I've ever seen that label.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have either. So I'm just going to read this from the article. So social media companies say AI-generated content should always be labeled. But the BBC found multiple examples where disclaimers were both hidden, unclear, or completely missing. TikTok says it has labeled more than 1.3 billion AI-generated videos to date, while Meta assesses whether something has been created by AI simply by relying on indicators that other companies include in their creation tools. So when you bring stuff over, it should have like a tag that then flags up that it's AI, but it's clearly not being used effectively. And there's probably ways to get around that. And many users that the BBC spoke to said that they would welcome the option to opt out of AI generated content. I know that I would. I would love to be able to flick that switch. But both Meta and TikTok declined to say whether this option was ever under consideration. So I think that kind of speaks volumes here.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah, so like all content should be flagged. Like you should be noting that like, AI content is AI content, but no one is really policing it at all. And that's once again very scary.
Man. Oh, I'm coming away from this just losing the little bit of hope.
Yeah,
that I had.
I kind of appreciate that as well. In terms of like the space that I'm most worried about with AI stuff, or the bit that I see the most around AI is supplements. I have reacted to a lot of pieces of content that are clearly AI, but a lot of people didn't realize that they're AI. Nearly all of them are like a funnel into selling someone a supplement, right? They use like different people. I'm saying people, they're not human. They'll try and like scratch the itch of the people that are looking for support, right? So they'll do it with like a cute old looking grandma selling like a home remedy that's going to fix something, or it'll be like a doctor in a lab coat telling you that pharmacies don't want you to know this secret, blah blah blah. And they try lots of different ways and then use the exact same script across the board. And then when you go into these pages and click in the links, they are all funneling towards the same one supplement that they're trying to sell, and they are gaining millions of followers, all trying to sell people these supplements, and it is working at scale. And I think the supplement industry is the bit that scares me the most, because I know that, Kate, you did a fantastic episode on the shady shit that the supplement industry gets up to. I don't know if you want to do just like a quick 30-second summary of what the supplement industry is like. You can probably do it in about a sentence.
It's one sentence. It is incredibly underregulated. Mm-hmm. That's not to say there are zero regulations whatsoever, but it is incredibly underregulated. And by that, I mean basically anything goes.
Yeah, it's so you've got an industry where anything goes, then having an industry that is massively underregulated, AI content on social media, signposting people towards these dangerous supplements that are not tested at all. And it's just a recipe for disaster.
And it kind of goes back to that vulnerability, right? If this one supplement has the doctor in the lab coat to speak to authority for those who want that credibility, and it has the old lady to speak to the home remedy for those who want natural, holistic, homeopathic, and it has the quote like hot young girl to speak to those who are focused on the aesthetics. It is hitting every vulnerable target, every desperate target, every weakness that, like, I don't know if weakness is the right word, but like every vulnerability that would get someone to say, oh, this is going to fix me.
Agreed. Yeah, and it is always the same script. A really funny thing that I've seen, I say funny, it's really sad, that I see now is I've seen this exact script used across multiple platforms now, but I've now started seeing humans now using the script of AI people. We've kind of gone like this full dystopian brutal circle of them reading the script.
No, that's the part where I'm like, help me.
Yeah, I just like, we're just, as you said, like AI slop. It's all just AI slop. Like everyone's losing brain cells as we're just like churning out this crap that just doesn't mean anything, doesn't help anyone, but it's flooding social media. Like it's everywhere. So yeah.
Can I speak really quickly to a point that I feel like is important to bring up as well, which is like alongside the slop, alongside the mindlessness, AI is built on the biases we already have in the world. It is built on the beauty standards that are what they are right now. It is built on the inequalities that are what they are right now. So whether it's a full AI account just made out of the dust of AI or whatever, or it's a person using this as their like primary source of information, it is just perpetuating these biases. And when you were talking about the Pinterest thing and the person who said, just find a person on Pinterest and then make it, like, I assume they took a picture and they made a body out of it, right? Sure. Does that body perpetuate further this idea of a beauty standard that is so limited, that is so marginal, but becomes even more of like, this is the standard, right? That's really hard. It's really hard. It's really heartbreaking to me, because we as humans have the power to push back on these biases, to recognize them and not perpetuate them further. But then we're working against this force that is just like reinforcing them with such strength. And that is really hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was going to mention that towards the end, but you've nailed it there.
Sorry.
So no, don't apologize. I'm really glad that you brought it up, because I think it is really, really important. And once again, it's like this echo chamber of all the grossness that social media is. AI just emphasizes that even further. And I guess I read as well, because I didn't want to just be like, all AI is bad in this article, being like, this podcast episode, just kind of slating all the bad things about it, because there is a shitload of bad stuff about AI. But I did find this other article that was how it was used within those who are on lower incomes and struggling to find advice, or in places where they can't afford healthcare and they've actually got answers to questions that they've never been able to get answered because they can't afford to see anyone. Like, there are elements of AI that I think can be genuinely useful in a world that is so unbalanced and unfair as it is right now. So I don't want it just to be a complete criticism. But I just think that, I think it sounds like me and you are in agreement here, Kate. It's just when people are then using that for all the bits that as a professional you should be doing yourself, I think that's when it becomes problematic. Like selling AI generated plans that you're saying is you've written them when you clearly haven't. posting like before and after photos that are clearly AI, or stealing other people's content and using it within AI to create your own stuff. I think there's so many different problematic things. I just don't think it should be used in a day-to-day coaching setup. But unfortunately it is. Also, just a really important point as well is when I've done reaction videos to AI before, the comment sections always annoy me a little bit of people's reaction to AI content, and the blame a lot of the time going straight to the people that have fallen for the content. And this is something that I always try and defend as much as possible, simply because I think that AI content is designed to be convincing. Like, it's designed to catch you when you feel stuck and at your most vulnerable. Like, if you have tried to take a grips of your health for years, or you feel tired all the time, or your body has changed, you're trying to find these answers, AI is there working on your weak points. I don't think we should ever blame the individual for falling for a lot of these things, because a lot of it is very believable. And also, it's a matter of time before none of us are going to be able to tell the difference between an AI piece of content and a piece of content created by like you and I, Kate. The fact that I think it was like the Will Smith eating spaghetti was the benchmark.
Yes.
Yeah. Where they're like the benchmark of how good AI was. And literally like 2 years ago or so, it was like, just looks like this weird monster eating spaghetti, and now it's like crystal clear. It looks like Will Smith eating spaghetti. Ridiculous, but it's the benchmark of how good this stuff has become in such a short space of time. So soon no one is going to be able to tell, and I don't think we should put the blame on the individual. I think the platforms need to regulate better. I think governments need to bring in better legislation to help protect consumers, because if we don't, just the internet's just going to be an awful place to be all round. Like, there's just going to be no benefit to it whatsoever.
Absolutely. And like to victim blame someone because that wasn't convincing to you overlooks the fact that there's all these sales funnels with different messaging that is meant to convince different type of people, right? I'm sure there's something that could get at your weak points, Michael, and my weak points.
It's
and
those,
it's like,
are you losing your hair? Those videos every time. Okay.
Mine would be like, do you need the miracle cure to make your toddler not be a monster? I'm like, yes, give it to me, please. What is it? I'll do anything.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, right? Like, these people know how to sell. They know how to exploit. And I actually had a whole section here on like red flags of things to look out for. But I actually, like, thinking about it now, I don't think it's actually that helpful, because I think a lot of this stuff is going to change very, very soon. It's going to change so quickly. Like, at the moment, you can kind of tell when a video is AI because it looks a bit polished, like the blinking's a bit weird. But I actually think that the messaging and the way that you approach every piece of content, I think, is going to be the important point to protect yourself here, in terms of asking for qualifications of a person, individual, checking their messaging. Are they using a lot of like buzzwords of like hormone imbalance, cortisol, toxins, like this kind of stuff? I think this counts for AI and non-AI people things, you know?
No, I agree. I think it's about like the red flags to look out for could be different in 1 month than they are now. Yeah. And it's less like making our human eyes know what AI imaging is, because we're not going to be able to tell, and more like critical thinking skills and media literacy that are going to serve us best.
Yeah. I just think if a piece of content finishes with trying to sell you a course, a supplement, or a product, question the crap out of it. You know, I think someone who is a good coach, someone who genuinely wants to support people, they don't sell directly on social media. And I know that sounds a bit vague and a bit wishy-washy, but I actually think that when you're a good coach, you put out a message and then people come to you. I think that that's the way that social media should be working. And I think actually that's the safest thing for people to look out for now. If a post finishes with a sales funnel or a sales pitch, I just wouldn't go there.
Yes, to your point, Michael, like I think a credible educator, someone who cares about disseminating information, they are not gatekeeping. They're not saying doctors don't want you to know this, or like the pharmaceutical industry is preying on you. Like, yeah, maybe it actually is, but you know, it's like there's not secret information hidden behind a paywall. Sure. So to speak to this point, just a little bit ago, a follower sent me, hey, what do you think about this? And it was an ad, very convincing looking. And it appeared to be on the Today Show webpage, right? Like, I think a Today Show is like somehow in the year of our Lord 2026 a credible
It's
like
just
a credible like
I'm not aware of like American TV. I'm assuming this is like a talk show.
it's just like Good Morning Show.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
sorry,
Okay,
it's
cool,
like the
cool.
Good Morning Show. Yeah, it's just
Sure.
like the basic television like a news network,
Sure.
right? So I said, hey, go to the Today Show website. Is this thing on there? And it was like, this was manufactured to look like this was a product being sold on the Today Show by the news anchors who are very well-known, like names, household names. And we can make anything look real at this point.
Yep.
So it's like putting on the critical thinking glasses. And
Yep.
I'm not blaming this person for falling for it. It was so realistic looking. And the only thing I knew was like a few lines that were like, doctors are hiding that this is the actual
go.
thing. I'm like, oh, let me know. It's not good when we see those words.
Yeah, I did a post about this a while ago where someone was like, doctors don't want you to know this. I'm like, all doctors want you to do is to know this. Like, they spend so long studying to like tell you this stuff, and they really want you to know it. Like, I have people message me every single day and I give them advice on DMs. I don't try to sell to them. I just help them out. I love it when I get messages like months later being like, I did what you said and I've now, my blood pressure's dropped or my cholesterol's lowered. You know, like, this is what someone who wants to help you is doing with their time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying, oh yeah, I'll help you, but you have to come into my coaching program in order to understand it because there's lots of secrets people don't want you to know. Like, it's just not the way things should be. I know that most people listening to our podcast, our followers are lovely, sensible people that probably know a lot of the stuff we've said, but I think it's really important to emphasize.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think this is a good conversation regardless, because hopefully it can just provide a lens for us as we go out into the world and recognize that the information we're coming across is confirming biases. It is generated by people who are not real people sometimes. And it's just like, it's good to know information. I don't think this was all gloom and doom. I think it is essentially like helpful and hopeful in how we can navigate this wild world.
I hope so. And I guess like one of the takeaways as well is like, I don't think AI is the root problem, actually. I think the fitness and wellness industry has already like had a big problem with fake authority for a long time, that kind of thrives on like body insecurities and like selling utter nonsense. AI just makes it so much easier to do now at scale because people don't even have to exist that are doing it. So I don't think like the answer is like never trust anything online, because I don't think that's realistic. But I do just think we need to get better at maybe like spotting the red flags of people who are trying to deceive us. Maybe easier said than done. But the way that I usually preach it is like, find people you trust that are speaking in balance and using evidence-based approaches, and cling on to them for dear life whilst the AI roller coaster continues. And hopefully we will get to the end of it fairly unscathed. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed. That was I really like that conclusion, because I think that's an important one.
Thanks, Kate. And that's AI. Let's see what happens in 6 months' time.
Yeah, part 3 coming soon.
I'm going to turn up with a full head of hair because AI has solved it for me, Kate.
The secrets worked then. Before we sign off, thank you, Michael, for such a great episode. And thank you, listeners, for making it this far. And as always, we appreciate you so much. If you are able to give us a little rating or reviews, even the best, to keep us going in these tough times. We appreciate it always. If you listen on Spotify, it's just a little click the stars at the top. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, we always appreciate a review or a share.
We appreciate all you listeners who have attention spans longer than 30-second Instagram reels. We appreciate you so much. And we will see you all again very soon.
Talk soon.